So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today we're going to be talking about the fine that Amazon received for excessively intrusive monitoring of warehouse staff. And this is another situation where the General Data Protection Regulation, which is actually a European Union wide law, kind of came to the rescue of workers. So they put a $32 million euro fine on Amazon. It is about 35 million in American, and they found that the use of the handheld barcode scanners to track packages at various points violated it because it put employees under close surveillance and continuous pressure. And there is a scanner that allows the company to monitor employees to the nearest second. And this is frankly, par for the course at Amazon in the United States. This sort of level of monitoring is somewhat to be expected if you go to work at Amazon. I think that you can expect this level of monitoring, right or wrong. I think that it at least gives data to decisions, and that data can be used either negatively or positively. Right? There is a world where it could reward employees for their behavior in the workplace, but France also had a problem with the periods of inactivity because under the GDPR, it was illegal to set up a system measuring work interruptions with such accuracy, and it made employees justify every break or interruption. I think that that's ultimately the problem. Various companies across the world have this level of surveillance, right? Specifically, I think of call centers, right, where they're repeatedly receiving calls in and out. Those computers are tracking these things and tracking periods of inactivity, such that the companies know specifically how their employees are doing and what they're doing. But I think that Amazon's use of this was probably what was ultimately most problematic. That said, we're going to go to this law, which you may be already fairly familiar with. The General Data Protection Regulation is a comprehensive data privacy and security framework implemented by the European Union to enhance the protection of individuals' personal data. Enforced since May 25th, 2018, the GDPR applies to all organizations operating within the European Union and those handling the personal data of European Union citizens, regardless of the location of the organization. The regulation empowers individuals with greater control over their personal information by outlining specific rights, such as the right to access, rectify, and erase their data. And, for the most part, the issue in the United States is that the companies would say, well, this is our data. It's not personal data. It's not data that the person even has access to. While you're on company time, you're being paid for this data. And as a result, obviously you wouldn't be subject to this sort of privacy. I keep saying it wrong. Organizations are required to adopt transparent data processing practices, obtain explicit consent for data collection, and implement robust security measures, and to safeguard the confidentiality and integrity of the data. And that was actually one of the problems here, was that Amazon was told that they were keeping the data for too long. They were keeping it. They didn't need every detail of the data generated by the scanners for the past month because they got real-time data and weekly statistics. And that's where I have a little bit of a problem with this, because the French Data Protection Authority that threw this down, ultimately said that they were getting real-time data and that was enough. Well, if the real-time data is acceptable, which also captures the periods of inactivity, I don't see how this is a violation. But ultimately, this is a world where the General Data Protection Regulation has continued to support employees in the European Union. There are a lot of things that are common in the United States which are violations of the GDPR. And what I think of specifically is surrounds, for example, drug tests. In many situations in the European Union, drug tests are considered a violation of the GDPR because with respect to pre-hire, even employment drug tests, because it's data that the employee can't control, and as a result is a violation of the GDPR. or it's excessive data. So there are many situations in the European Union where this GDPR has protected workers, even though that doesn't seem to be the initial intent behind the regulation. What do you think about the GDPR in the European Union? Do we need it in the United States? Is it a little bit too much? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.